Court has in fact reserved hearing the case today. It has reserved orders for interim orders. That is main issue that was raised was the direction that has been issued by Supreme Court bench of Justice J.B. Pardiwala, directing that all dogs should be rehabilitated into the shelter homes and should be rounded up from across the city. Now, the main ask is for a stay on that order. Also, it is important to know that the bench headed by three-judge bench headed by Justice Vikram Nath today criticized the MCD and local authorities for their inaction over the years for not implementing the ABC rules and said that they were responsible for such a huge problem that is facing the city today. The population has increased. It has grilled the Delhi authorities for its inaction and has said that it will hold them responsible for what is in front of them today. Secondly, they have also said, they have also asked that how come the authorities are rounding up dogs, the Delhi authorities are rounding up dogs when the order was just released yesterday night. So these were also important questions that were raised by the Supreme Court today, that how are Delhi authorities picking up stray dogs from across the city when the order was not even released. So these were some important questions. The order remains reserved for now. It will be important to see that when and how the Supreme Court's order comes out and what the top court says after that.
Right. All eyes on the Supreme Court taking up that case. And of course, take us through the challenges that have been voiced, the concerns that have been voiced, particularly in regard to the kind of money that's required in order to relocate these dogs, to feed these dogs, to sterilize these dogs, and, the kind of manpower that will be needed to do so.
These were the questions and the issues pointed out in front of the top court today, that this order they said was not only impractical but also unscientific. Senior advocate Kapil Sibal, along with a battery of senior advocates like Gopal Sankara and senior advocate Abhishek Manu Singhi, represented from the side of dog lovers and people who were against, in fact, the Supreme Court order of directing relocation of all dogs. They said that it is not practically possible. We don't have shelter homes in the first place to be shifting these dogs. Even senior advocate Kapil Sibal raised this question that they don't even have shelter homes, and where are they taking the dogs after rounding them up? And he also raised apprehension about killing of dogs by the Delhi authorities. So these are very important apprehensions that were raised today in the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court also expressed concern about the same. Now, coming to the challenges, they also said that practically, how is it possible that you will accommodate lakhs of, you will have to, first of all, accommodate lakhs of dogs, treat dogs into shelter homes, then you will have to provide food for them every day, medicine for them every day, which will, in fact, cost a lot of money to taxpayers. So they raised some really practical questions about the Supreme Court order and why it was problematic and how it was practical when it came to implementation. So it will be important to see that what the Supreme Court now directs in its order, which it has reserved for now.
Of course, so those are the challenges, and of course, calling this move completely impractical, not really, thought very clearly and not thought through. But of course, they are, citizens of the National Capital Region, and not just here, but across the country, that are also, for this decision that was earlier on taken by the Supreme Court.
Well, yes, Divya, this is in fact a very big issue. This has turned out to be a big issue, as now high courts have also gone on to issue similar directions as issued by the Supreme Court on the same lines and directing relocating of stray dogs from across the city, across the country. We have seen Rajasthan High Court has done it, and even there were talks of relocating dogs in Tamil Nadu. So there is important challenges that are there, and it will be important to see that what unfolds when the Supreme Court finally passes this order that it has reserved today, because it will have a ripple effect on the country.
This will have a ripple effect, and how practical is this decision in terms of the logistics? And the shelter homes are not even there in place to begin with. You need to come up with these shelter homes. We're talking about 3 lakh street dogs in the NCR region, for which at least 3,000 shelter homes are required. That is what Maneka Gandhi has gone on to say.
Yeah, absolutely right. If you have to relocate even, previously what the existing shelter homes, how they are made, they are accustomed to dogs who come for on temporary basis. That is, dogs come there for treatment and then they are relocated from there where they were picked originally. But now they are not existing. Even the existing shelter homes are not equipped to hold dogs for forever. Like the Supreme Court judgment, which was passed by a bench of Justice J.B. Pardiwala, in fact said that there should be a CCTV camera outside a shelter home to make sure that dogs don't move out. But how is that possible? There is no strength in those shelter homes, existing ones, and to come up with more shelter homes across the city, not just in one place. Also, it was also pointed out that having so many dogs together can also be a health hazard. It can lead to a health hazard for humans as well, that when so many dogs will be present in one corner of the city, and it can in fact lead to spread of certain diseases.
Right, of course, in question of, putting so many dogs together in one place is going to be an issue to begin with. But also, the Supreme Court had gone on to say that you can't adopt these street dogs. That was the directive that was given on Monday. But now all that has changed. Yesterday, from what we're hearing is that, now the officials are urging that Delhi had start to adopt these street dogs.
Yes, of course. In fact, the same order passed by the bench of Justice J.B. Pardiwala has had in the first place, while he was pronouncing, he had said that it cannot be that your stray dogs becomes your pet dog overnight. So he had said that he is not going to allow people to impromptu say that they are adopting stray dogs, and then go on to re-release them after the drive is over on the streets. But now in the written order that was released yesterday night, he has said that on the apprehensions raised by the dog lovers and welfare activists, the Supreme Court urges Delhi residents to come forward and start adopting stray dogs, and if they can, they should provide them a home.
Right. Nupur, thank you so much for getting us all those details. Let's just also cut across to animal activist Ambika Shukla, who is joining us. Ma'am, thank you for speaking with us here on NDTV. Of course, the Supreme Court is now going to be reconsidering that decision that was taken on Monday. What are you expecting from this case that's now coming up in the Supreme Court all over again in a matter of 3 days?
I think it is a very excellent reflection on our apex judiciary, that they should understand themselves when a mistake has been made. And the original order was a mistake. It was an unconsidered, unreasoned, imbalanced order that doesn't solve any problem. If you look at the statistics, you look at the scientific research, and you look at the past experience, everybody knows that pounds don't work. We have come from there. We have come from culling. Why would we go back all the way instead of staying with improving and supporting a WHO program like the ABC? That is where the solution lies, and it needs the involvement of the animal community. You cannot solve an animal problem without involving the animal community. It is like trying to solve a medical problem without involving doctors. So we have to understand that decisions must be taken based on information, research, deliberation, discussion, and the objective of public safety and public good needs to be properly understood and properly addressed. We cannot have solutions plucked out of thin air and delivered arbitrarily and expect it to be followed. It is an impractical,
right, ma'am,
unviable solution.
The courts are now saying this is for the welfare of people and animals both. This isn't personal. What do you feel is the middle ground that can be reached here?
It always had to be. Animal welfare and human welfare are complementary concerns, not competitive. Whenever you help an animal, you help a human. So, this is an artificially created debate where either animals or humans. It is not like that. It is together. When a society progresses, when a country progresses, all citizens, whether two-legged or four, are benefited. And when we exclude the weakest links, the animals, the elderly, the
handicapped. How can we reach that middle ground? Your suggestions?
The middle ground is very easy to reach. You you talk to the domain experts. The animal people will themselves provide you solutions so that animals and people can coexist in harmony. If you do not talk to people who understand animals and animal behavior and can understand what is causing the bites and how to prevent them, then you are ignoring a crucial asset. So let us look at solutions, real solutions on ground, practical solutions that can be enforced, and we will arrive at a very, very harmonious and satisfactory solution.